You saved my again!
What's this?
I'll be honest, I wasn't looking forward to this series. After seeing how Disney Star Wars has butchered beloved characters and shamelessly spewed out mediocre content one after the other, you can understand my hesitation to be willing to give this a chance. However, every now and then light shines through the darkness and something good can grow out of the bleak landscape that is Hollywood. And so it's my duty as a YouTuber to at least try to be as objective as I can, so that I can give an honest review. So is this show the diamond in the rough amongst Disney Star Wars? Is it what we've all been longing for and waited to see? No. I wasn't impressed at all by the first 2 episodes. To be fair, there were a few things I liked, but there were just as many things I didn't, and some things were just dumb. Since episode 1 and 2 came out together, I'll group them together for one solid rating. I give these first 2 episodes of Kenobi a 3. They weren't complete crap. And that's about as generous as I'm willing to be at this point. About 60% or so of these episodes focused on Obi-Wan, and whenever Ewan McGregor was on screen, I was interested and entertained. He really is a great Obi-Wan, and for all the faults the prequels had, they were the first Star Wars movies I ever watched, and so they've always held a special place for me. Ewan McGregor was a highlight in those movies, and he fits right back in the role very naturally here. As for the Inquisitors, they looked intimidating, but from the moment they opened up their mouths, they came across as a group of reckless teenagers filled with division and strife. Not coordinated in the slightest, and overall kind of bland. I know the path to the dark side encourages you to use your anger, and bad guys have always had a habit of not working well together. But these are lightsaber-wielding ex-Jedis turned to evil and hunting down their own kind. The pouty attitudes and mean scowls don't invoke fear, but instead cause them to come across as petulant and weak. Remember in the prequels when Darth Maul was barely on screen and said almost nothing, and yet when he did show up on screen, you wouldn't be able to hear a pin drop in the theater? Yeah, they just don't know how to write good villains anymore. The story was fine, if not for a few annoying parts, and for not having much action in these first 2 episodes, I was still fairly interested as things moved along. There's a lot of practical alien suits, which always fit well in with the Star Wars universe, and each episode did end with a nice cliffhanger to make me want to see what would come next. But overall, honestly, it's really hard to care about this universe and these characters. And I have a sneaky suspicion that in the following episodes, we're going to see less and less of Obi-Wan, and the writing's going to get worse and worse. But I guess we'll just have to see. Anywho, let's get into the first 2 episodes. Episode 1 starts off with several minutes going down memory lane and showing us scenes from the prequel trilogy, avoiding the bad ones at all costs.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
We then are taken to the Jedi Temple right after Order 66 was executed and see a teacher trying to lead her class of children out to safety. We then skip 10 years to present-day Tatooine, where the gruesome threesomes show up in search of the Jedi hiding out somewhere in the town. I forgot all their names, so first there's this guy from the Fast and the Furious, whose entire plotline revolved around Tokyo. This guy watched way too much Beast Wars and thinks he's Dinobot, and she kinda reminds me of Shanae.
What do you want, Shanae?
Oh my goodness. If it isn't Little Miss Attitude.
Dinobot Tokyo and Shanae head over to the local saloon, where Dinobot dumps a lot of boring exposition about how Jedis are caught. Shanae gets a little too bored and throws a knife at a civilian in order to force the hidden Jedi to save him, thus proving how much smarter she is than her superiors. The Jedi gets away because Mommy and Daddy can't get along, but Tokyo pursues him with a very brisk walk, and we learn Shanae is really after Obi-Wan for reasons. Afterward, we go to the man himself, Obi Wan Kenobi, working at an Amazon warehouse building. His life sucks, he lives in a cave, and his Mexican merchant is his only real friend, all while keeping tabs on Luke as the young boy begins to grow up. After a while, the other Jedi shows up to seek Obi-Wan's help, and he's like, dude, this is 2022, I've blackpilled and so should you. So far, not too bad, but then the story takes a bit of a dip where we now go to little Leia, growing up on Alderaan. I can't stand most child actors, and yes, she is insufferable. Also, was I the only one who noticed this big drop of sweat running down the nose of Leia's mom? I mean, you couldn't do another take? We then cut back to the real story where Luke's Uncle Owen tells Obi-Wan to leave his family alone, which ends with Dumb and Dumber showing back up and still in search of the hidden Jedi. Tokyo tries to be diplomatic, but Shanae ain't having it and starts cutting people's hands off.
Hold on.
After the high school drama, Dumb and Dumber leave, and Sinead tells Tokyo she don't need no man. We then cut back to Alderaan, where little Leia is even more insufferable. Luckily, this time she gets kidnapped by the most autistic people I have ever seen. I mean, this green one is really stupid. Leia's parents contact Obi-Wan for help, which he first refuses, claiming he isn't the Jedi he used to be. And we then learn that the Three Stooges were hired by Shanae to lure out Obi-Wan. Oh yeah, and this guy was killed? Sucks for you, dude. After a second talk with Leia's father, Obi-Wan gets his lightsaber, and episode 1 ends with him heading off to save the little princess.
Good job.
Episode 2 starts off with Obi-Wan tracking Leia to a planet I don't remember the name of because I was so distracted by these giant shriveled up penises walking around. He finds this dude who for some reason I just can't stand as an actor, but I don't really have a good reason why. I don't remember his name, but he's pretending to be a Jedi in this, so we'll just call him Fake Jedi. After Fake Jedi helps find where little Leia is being held, Obi-Wan turns into Bill Nye the Science Guy, beats up Darth Maul's long-lost brother, and goes full Breaking Bad on these Three Stooges, saving little Leia right before Shanae shows up to unleash her attitude. Leia has her first encounter with a male feminist, and Dinobot shows up with Tokyo to reprimand Shanae right before she disobeys him again and puts out a bounty on Obi-Wan. For some reason, when little Leia finds out that Obi-Wan is a wanted man, she goes full retard, runs away, and almost gets them both killed. I guess because she thought he was lying about being a Jedi, so when he uses the Force to save her, it convinces her? I don't know, but this is the first time he uses the Force, and you can definitely tell he's out of shape. Fake Jedi shows up to prove he's been an undercover good guy all along, and points Obi-Wan to a cargo ship that can sneak them off the planet. Shanae runs into Fake Jedi and does that stupid I can read your mind trick that we see soy boy Kylo Ren do, and finds out where Obi-Wan is going. For some reason, she doesn't bother killing or arresting Fake Jedi. Why? Don't know. Whatever. Shanae shows up to the ship, but before she can fight Obi-Wan, Dinobot shows up and says,
Move aside.
Shanae don't need no man, and kills Dinobot, giving Obi-Wan the opportunity to escape. Right before Dinobot did show up, Shanae brings up Vader and reveals that Anakin is still alive, something Obi-Wan apparently didn't know. As he flies away with little Leia, he's left contemplating the reality of what he just heard. And the episode ends with a scene of Disney CEO Bob Chapek taking scuba diving lessons. Oh, I just can't wait to see what they do next. Anyways guys, if you enjoyed the vid, please like and subscribe. Thanks always for watching, and have a great freaking day.